Hello and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. So I am today going to pot on these little geraniums that I grew from seed this year. So I thought I would show you how I'm going to do that so that I can then pop them into a grow house, protect them over the winter, and hopefully in the springtime they will spring back and maybe even give me some flowers next year. So these geraniums I sowed in the springtime, and they are, I can just see this from this little label, a special mop head mixed F1. So I don't know whether you can see that, but it's just a variety of colours in your sort of typical mop head geranium shape. So the flower spike comes up and then there's a sort of mass of flowers on the end. I have left these to their own devices, to be fair. As soon as I had them in the propagator to germinate, and then I put them into a grow house outside to grow on, and actually for all of the summer up till now, which is mid-October, they have been sitting on a table on the deck, but it's getting quite cold now, and really I think I need to sort of protect them because they wouldn't last outside. So that is what I'm going to do. They're in sort of reasonably sized pots, but I think I'll just move them up a pot size and then pop them as cosy as I can get them into a grow house. They won't do too much growing, so I'm sort of torn about whether I move them up a pot size because they won't really be doing too much growing now until the springtime. But it's only a little jump up, so I think we'll be okay doing that. And it gives them a refresh of compost as well. Okie dokie, so I shall pop on some gloves. I've got some just a general compost mix here, and let's just pop these wee guys on. There's actually, looking here, there's a nice something growing in there as well as the geranium. So we'll need to get rid of that too. But they're doing okay actually, the geraniums. They're doing okay. So that's probably one of the bigger ones. So let's get this out. And quite wet actually. Pop it in here and then pop some compost around it. It's not the best compost in the world this I'm using. It's just a cheap one from a cheap supermarket, let's say. Okay, but that's okay. I'll pop the label, it's a bit disintegrating, but I'll pop the label in this pot and then I'll write some labels for the others. So that's what I'm aiming for, a nice, just a upper pot size, some fresh compost to help the geranium between now and the springtime, and then hopefully it'll be ready to spring into growth in the spring. Lots of springs in that sentence here, sorry. Okay, so I'll just carry on with this. Maybe play you some nice music while I'm doing it so you don't get too bored.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within.
Right, that's me done. All I've done is I have made sure that the compost just comes up to what was the surface of the compost in the previous pot, and made sure that there's plenty of fresh compost in there. And yeah, that's me. I'll give it a light watering because the compost that I've used is wet, and then I'm going to pop them in a tray and put a plastic cover over the tray, and then I'm going to put that into the grow house, and I'll just show you that once I'm done. Okay, here we are. So here's one of my plastic grow houses that I will keep the cover on all winter time because it's pretty sheltered from the wind, and it's also tied against a fence. And I've put the geraniums in this case, in the left hand side, in a tray and covered it with a plastic cover, propagator lid, and yeah, that should give it additional protection over and above the protection that this plastic will give them over the winter time. And then these are a bit too tall for the propagator lid there. I've got a taller propagator lid and I've got those hidden in there. So it's almost like just giving 2 layers of protection from the weather, and I hope that that will be enough for geraniums. They won't like excuse me, they won't like really freezing weather, so I don't know whether this is going to be enough or not. What I probably will do actually is put some fleece over them in the really cold nights to protect them further. I'll keep you posted as to how they're getting on. Hopefully they won't die off over the winter time. I don't really want to bring them into the house. I'd rather that they were hardened out here. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll let you know how I get on. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye bye for now.